Hi everyone, my name is Ojus Save. I work as a developer advocate at Zoom. Been here for the last 6 years, so it's been an amazing journey so far. Um, I am a part of this whole developer ecosystem. So basically, our job is to empower developers who want to build on top of Zoom. I want to quickly ask you guys a question. And you can use like the reactions that you have in the Zoom meeting that you are a part of. So how many of you have like, of course you guys have used Zoom, but how many of you guys have used Zoom beyond its meetings, like anything except for meetings, like chat, or Zoom phone, or the Zoom AI companion that we have? If you haven't, I will highly recommend you to try one of these. And again, I'm not here to sell you anything, but sometimes it's just curious for me to see like how many people know about some of the stuff that we do here at Zoom. And the reason I mentioned that is because every single, well, not every single, but most of the Zoom products that you see today, um, you have a developer counterpart for that. And the way some of our developer tools are designed is like every single operation that you can do on the Zoom AI, the Zoom UI, or within the Zoom meetings, before the Zoom meetings, after Zoom meetings, etc. You can do that via APIs, or for in-meeting operations, you have the SDKs. So if you haven't checked it out, go ahead, check out. We have this cool award-winning workspace on Postman. We were nominated. We Patricia, correct me if I'm wrong. We won the best API award this year.
Ooh, let me confirm. You did win an API.
We won, yes. And one of the things is,
Yes.
basically we did, yes. And basically, it's very easy to get started with our Zoom Postman workspace. All you have to do is like just click on a few links, and every single API that is present um, on basically our developer platform, we have put it on our Postman workspace. As I said, it makes it very easy to test out our APIs, get started with our platform. And yeah, one of the other things I also love about Postman is how easy it makes us to test our WebSocket collection as well. And I'm going to come to that. So, sharing about my experience about Postman, I discovered Postman when I was at one of my previous jobs, and we I was just getting started with this just out of college. So it was my first job, and I was just getting started with like learning what APIs are and everything. And I always thought, what if there was like an easier way to test it? And then a friend of mine is like, hey, have you seen this Chrome extension, which is called Postman, and it allows you to easily make get and post requests. And that's how I was introduced to Postman. And then I ended up joining Zoom. I mean, it's been almost 6 years today, but I understood like we have this huge collection, like we have this Postman collection, and it makes it very easy to test, like our APIs and everything that we have. So let me show you very quickly how you can get started with the Zoom Postman collection. Feel free to ask me any questions. If there is a certain thing that you want to see, ask me, and I'll be more than happy to like talk about that. Again, my colleague Gianni, she's the one who's like beautified and done all the hard work on this on the Postman workspace that we have today. Um, so a huge shout out to Gianni. I don't think she's on the meeting today, but yeah, just a huge shout out to her. Um, that said, let me show you now how easy it is to just make like simple API calls to the basically to our Zoom APIs. And yeah, we can just get started. So I'm going to go ahead and share my desktop here. I hope I'm sharing the right screen. And yeah, so in order to make API calls, what we need you to do is we need you to create an integration on our marketplace. Basically, Zoom Marketplace has more than 2,500 applications which you can use. But in order to be listed on the Zoom Marketplace, you have to go through an approval process. Um, it's a separate discussion that we can have at a later time. But if you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out to me after this, meeting, and we can talk about that. But if again you want to start making API calls like get data from Zoom or make any changes to your Zoom account, like create, update, delete meetings, or get your recordings or send chat messages, basically you need to create an integration. So let's start by giving it a name. I'm creating a server-to-server OAuth app. We have general apps as well. A simple difference between server-to-server and general app is like server-to-server is essentially used when you want to make basically get data or like make edits within your own Zoom account or your organization's Zoom account. And general app is when you want to make API calls on someone else's behalf. So to give like again a simple example, let's say you want to know every time like how many meetings have been in your account or how many chat messages have been sent in your account, or get your account's usage, you would create like a server to server WhatsApp. But let's say if you want to create an app like, for example, Calendly, which creates, updates, deletes meetings on someone else's behalf, then you would have to create a general app, go through our approval process, and then publish it on the marketplace. And that's when all the other people can install it. Again, let's stick to what we are here today for. So I have created this server to server OAuth app. I get an account ID, client secret. There is this bunch of information that I need to fill. I'm just going to type some random stuff. etc and zoom.com. Um, and then go ahead and select scopes. Scopes are nothing but permissions. So in this case, we're going to make like just because we're testing, we're going to make like simple API calls where I will like maybe let's try to create a meeting, and then get a list of all the meetings in my account. And maybe if we have time, we'll also see like how to get like a specific meeting. So meetings, and I will select all those scopes. Earlier, what we had was we had like this legacy scopes wherein you can select like, okay, meeting read, meeting write, and basically you can just like, get all the meeting permissions to like view or edit, basically all the view and edit meeting permissions. But over a period of time, we went more granular. So like almost all the APIs have its individual scopes. So right now I'm going to look for view users meetings, and then we want to also create a meeting. So I want to select a scope called create meetings. Okay, done. I hope this works. And then I'll click on activate my app. My app is activated. The next thing I would want to do is generate an access token after creating this app. So I will go to my Postman workspace. I have poked some of the APIs from our award-winning Postman collection. Um, and so I'll just go here, click on get an access token. Now go back here. And you guys can do this with me if you want. All you have to do is go to your marketplace, go to your Zoom account, which is like marketplace.zoom.us, click on create an app. You'll get these three credentials. That's all you need. So copy the account ID, copy the client ID, copy the client secret, and let's hit send. And you can see that I got an access token. I can use this access token to now call some of the meeting APIs that work with these scopes. If I call any other API that uses any other scopes than the listed scopes here, again, scopes are nothing but permissions, then I will get an error. So I will copy this access token here and let's try to see all the meetings in my account. So tokens, I will list this as a bearer token. I hope I'm doing this correct. Oh no. Add, okay, bearer token. I'll input the token here. I type scheduled. I'm going to just remove all of this stuff. Where it says user ID, again, you're providing us with a token, but then we also need to know whose meetings I want to see. So in this case, I will do me. When I do me, it'll basically query it against my personal, like my individual Zoom account. If I had permissions to view some other users' meetings, I would provide that other user ID or email ID here. But for now, we're just going to query my accounts. Sorry, my meetings. I want to make sure, okay, everything is correct, and let's hit send. And as you can see, I have this upcoming meeting, and I got all the details of this upcoming meeting. Why don't we try now creating a meeting through this? So again, I just clicked on this API, which which I can use to create a meeting. Where it says user ID, I'll provide me. I'll go back, paste my access token. In the body section, we have some pre-filled, uh, like basically pre-specified fields. I'm just going to remove all of them. I'm just going to do like topic, test meeting, and I'm going to maybe like provide date. Now, date is very tricky. You have to provide it in the exact format that we need. So I'm going to do zero. Okay, let's do September 01, and then time is 12/00/00. So anyways, again, don't worry. If you want to access this API, it's very simple. Just replace this base URL with um, api.zoom.us/v2. And then we have kept like the design of the API is very simple. So it's like users, because like we are calling for the users, like getting a list of all the meetings for a certain user. So it will be like users, user ID, meetings, and then type is like scheduled meeting, for example. Hit send. And you remember we just some time ago we ended up creating another meeting. So now that we ended up creating this another meeting, now we can see this another meeting in the API. If I go ahead and create one more meeting, so test meeting, for example, 2, hit send, and I will get a list of the third meeting. So yeah, it's as simple as that. Um, a lot of our users who use basically who want to get data from Zoom sometimes want to get this data in real time. Um, and so the legacy way that I learned all these years was like we provide webhooks. So how many of you guys are familiar with what webhooks are? Can we see a raise of hands? Okay. I'm going to assume everyone is familiar, but if you're not, I'm going to quickly tell you what webhooks are. So think of webhook like an alarm clock. Let's say you want to wake up at 7 a.m. You will set an alarm for like 7 a.m. And when it's 7 a.m., the alarm will go off. So similarly, for webhook, you want to listen to an event. And once that event occurs, you are sent a notification. In our case, let's say every time you wanted to know that a meeting was created in your account, you would want to listen to a webhook instead of, like constantly polling, like instead of me like constantly trying to make this API call and see if a new meeting was created in my account, I could maybe just listen to like the meeting has been created event. And as soon as the event would occur, I would get a notification saying that, hey, this event has occurred. And, I can take whatever actions I want on that end. Everything was going great until some of our customers started to reach out to us and be like, hey, so in order for us to listen to your webhooks, we have to provide like a public endpoint because that's where Zoom would end up sending events. And that was challenging for them because they did not want to have a public endpoint. So the thing was like, how do we still make sure that people get data in real time without having to constantly pull from our APIs? I mean, get list of meetings from my account. It's like a very small API. It doesn't cause that much load on our servers. But we have some of like heavy APIs, like for example, our QSS APIs, like our dashboard APIs, wherein we give you like much more details about your meetings, about your users who joined the meeting, etc. Again, go ahead and check them out. Uh, but the but the thing what I want to mention here is like if we had people like think of an account which has like 10,000 users, even if they have like 10 meetings in a given day and those 10 meetings have like 20, 30 participants, imagine the number of API calls that would be made to get those data in real time. And it was very like it would be very difficult for us to basically make sure that our servers don't crash. So the challenge for us was how do we make sure that we are still able, like our customers or our users are still able to get that data in real time, even if they did not want to use webhooks. So that's where like some of like our DevRel team came in because we provided that feedback to our engineers, and we ended up building out WebSockets. So there is a small fundamental difference between how webhooks and WebSockets work at Zoom. So you remember I told you you provide us with an endpoint URL for a webhook. We send you that events in real time, and then you can as like as those events occur, you get those in real time. The concept is very similar for WebSockets as well, except instead of you providing us with an endpoint, Zoom will provide you with an endpoint. So if you go to event subscriptions, click on add event and select the WebSocket option. So I will go and select test, go to meetings, and I want to know every time a meeting has been like created, updated, and deleted in my
Hey,
account.
Ojus, I'm
Sorry.
sorry to interrupt, but I just wonder, is there a way folks can tinker on their own even without having access to your, or does that make sense in this context? Probably not.
They can just all they need to do is like go to marketplace.zoom.us, create an app, and then I can if they want to make like an API call on this meeting, I can just send them the URLs and they can start hitting those URLs right away.
Thank
So
you.
let me take a step back and share some of the URLs with you guys. So if you want to get an access token, this is the URL that you would end up calling. Actually, oh, one cool thing I forgot to mention. So I know a lot of okay, at least I every once in a while, well, I'm lying. For most of the times, I would use all like basically ChatGPT or SourceGraph Cody to write some sample code for me. But few years ago, we did not have all of this. So the easiest way, if I wanted to like tell our customers how to make API calls, or like if they wanted to make an API call in like a certain language, I would just go here in Postman. I hope all of you guys are seeing my screen, and copy the code snippet from here and send it to them. Now, I just want to remove my client ID, client secret, and my account ID. Um, Headers. I think this is good. And I'll just copy it and send it to you guys. Uh, Para token. No, wait, basic. Yeah, I want to do basic. And I'm just going to copy this and send it to you guys. So the first one that I've sent is a way how you can make a call to your access token. And the second one is the API that will help you to get a list of all the meetings from your account. Now let's go back to WebSockets. So again, WebSockets is something that I can use to get real-time updates from my Zoom account. I have subscribed to these three events, which is meeting created, updated, and deleted. Hit done, hit save. If there are any additional scopes that I need to select, they will be added here. I will go back to my app that I had, grab my credentials, paste them here, hit send. The first step is again to generate an access token, because again, we want to make sure like when you're listening to an event, you have the authorization to listen to that event. We don't want you or someone else to listen to your events. So how do we know that someone who's opening the connection with WebSocket is authorized to do so? We need them to append this access token to the WebSocket URL. So going back, once I create like a WebSocket subscription, I get an endpoint URL. Just copy that, um, select a WebSocket request, paste it, and add one more parameter, which is access underscore token. Grab the access token that you had previously, that you had previously created. And paste it here. My connection is open. Now, every time someone creates updates or deletes meeting in my account, I will get a real-time update. So let's try this. I hit a send. Sometimes, okay, there you go. I received an event with the exact payload that I would listen, I would try to get from here. The meeting is created. Now, let's say, what if I wanted to edit this meeting? So I'll try to do this from the UI just for testing purposes. So let's say I have this meeting and I will call it test meeting 3. Hit save. And you can see I received another event, which is meeting has been updated. Just for testing purposes, let's go ahead and delete this meeting. And you can see that I received an event in real time saying that my meeting has been deleted. You can listen to, again, every single operation that can be performed on Zoom. You can listen to those events. And if there is not, then please reach out to me and we're happy to build those events for you. And one thing I want to mention is when we decided to roll out WebSockets, one of the bigger challenges was how do we explain to people what we are doing, and or how do we show people like how to test WebSockets? Do we have to create code in like every single language that is used by our developers? I mean, yes, that is an ideal thing to do, but still, if someone wanted to test out WebSockets without having to run it in their code, how would someone do that? And we discovered Postman already has built a solution for that, where I could not only test my APIs, but even test my WebSockets. And yeah, so like Postman made it really easier for us to show our users how to not only test their APIs or test our APIs, but also to test our WebSockets. Yeah. One more thing about this WebSocket is like we want to make it as secure as possible. So the connection will only be opened for 1 minute. After 1 minute, the connection will be closed. So if I want to keep this connection open for more than 1 minute, then I have to send this command called as module heartbeat. When I hit send, this connection will be opened for 1 more minute. So every time I end up sending this message, this connection stays open for 1 more minute. And then I can keep this connection open as long as I want. And as long as I send the heartbeat command, the connection will be kept open. So that's that. This is how easy it was to test our APIs, make requests to get our access token, and test our WebSockets using Postman. I know we have probably like less than 10 minutes. So any, if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any suggestions, any feedback, please let me know. I'm here.
Yeah, I have one.
Yes.
I was interested about the authentication that Postman is providing. Have you check it out? If you can integrate with your authentication process.
That's a very good question. Yes, there is a way. I know if you create like a global environment variable or global variable, something like that in Postman, all you have to provide is your client ID and client secret, and then it'll automatically populate the access token for you. Yes, there is a way to do that. I remember doing that. I just haven't done this in my current Postman setting.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm asking this because we have done it in our prerequisite script. So we are asking the partner to introduce the credential in the environment, and then they can use whatever request they want. But yeah, I was just curious if you have seen okay, if you don't.
No, we have, and a lot of my colleagues end up using that. They set up this global, variable, and it automatically generates an access token and populates that for them in their API requests. So that we do that. But just because I had to demo how to make those token requests today, I basically made those API calls. But no, I setting them as global variables is an easier and I think a more secure way.
And would it be okay to say if anyone in the room has experience on this, feel free to say something.
Yes.
And I see your hand, Andrew. I don't know if you saw that.
Well, I didn't want to speak to that because I don't know, but I was just I thought that the way you guys are doing the subscribing to specific events is really awesome and inspiring. I was wondering if you could show that screen again, where you can the user can select, the developer can select what you're gonna subscribe to. And I was wondering how long, when you guys implemented that.
So WebSockets, they are in a public beta because there are some of the challenges that we are trying to solve. But you can still list. So every single event that is available via webhook is available via WebSockets as well. The payload is pretty much the same, but if you ever encounter hey, the payload is different, or I don't see an event which is in webhook but not in WebSocket, please let us know. We are happy to implement those for you. But look at these. So I go I go to the feature section.
Yep.
I can click on which events I want to add, and you can. I don't know on top of my head, but I want to say we have more than 200 events that someone can listen to.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Do you guys store that configuration locally, or is that something that's stored within the subscribers side?
Configuration as in which events a user would select?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you create this app on the marketplace, you get a window where you can select which events you want, and then those events are specific to that app. And this is a very good question, actually, now that you asked. So you remember we had to generate an access token in order to open the WebSocket connection?
Yeah.
That access token only works for that user and that specific app. So if
Gotcha.
I, as a user, opened a different WebSocket connection through a different app, even though I'm the same user, and tried this app's access token, even though it's the same event, it will not work.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's really cool. Thanks.
absolutely.
Thank you for the great question, Andrew. And thanks for the resource, Marcus, sharing.
And before we sign off, I do want to mention, so I'm based out here in San Jose in our HQ, and we have started to do monthly developer meetups where we want people to come and learn new things. So we bring speakers from, like the best of the tech companies out in the Bay Area. And our next meetup is going to be on September 12th. It's going to be both virtual and in person. Uh, so you can see the link here. And guess who is going to be speaking at our next meetup? No prizes for guessing. It's going to be Postman. We're really lucky to have them. So yeah, please tune into if you can't make it in person, please tune into this virtually, and I'd love for you guys to be there as well.
Just want to say we have a little time if anyone else had other stuff, but yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing that. Yeah. I know Kevin had to hop. So super great job, Ojus. And the first one's always exciting. And I, like I was saying at the beginning, like this is what I've been doing forever. And to have the opportunity to meet the community and get to know you in person is like awesome. So thank you so much. Next month coming up is Portkey, and I'm super excited about this one as well. It's bringing guardrails in production for AI apps using Portkey and Postman. Just a side note, they're based out of India, and they use Postman like quite heavily and very solid team to learn from. And then Dan will be the next month. So I'll follow up next week with the recording and maybe these resources that Marcus shared. And anyone, I'll CC, Ojus will be in there. If anyone needs anything, just holler. Andrew, anything top of mind you need right now or thinking about?
No, this is great. I'm so glad that you're doing this. Yeah. Ojus, that was great. Way to crush it.
Thank you so much, guys.
And just
Yeah.
a side note, I was going to say about Andrew, I met him, and when we initially met, he was like, well, I made this because I want to show you this. So he uses Postman flows, and he has made a musical instrument. And I know it was very early on, so it wasn't working perfectly, but it could play Happy Birthday. And maybe you should do the theme song for our meetups.
Oh my God.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I'll have to, I'll mess with it. Yeah, I'll see if I can go. I tried to show Claire last time I talked to her, and like my server didn't work, and I was like, I swear this worked before. So I'll try. I'll get it working again. Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone, well, I'm super grateful. Ojus, you get to have the last words, please.
Um, well, thank you so much, Patricia, again for having me here. It was really great meeting all of y'all. Some of the great questions. Thank you for everyone who asked. Again, I'm always here. If anybody has any questions, you guys can reach out to me at my first name dot last name at zoom.us. I'm going to put it in the chat just in case. I will also say this, again, we want to help developers achieve whatever they want to build. So if you guys have any feedback like, hey, Ojus, would like to build this with Zoom, and don't think of Zoom as like meetings, think of us beyond meetings, like a full collaboration platform. So like, let's say you want to build like a chatbot, or you want to build your own chat framework, um, or you want to, again, think of anything you can build, or anything you want to build, and reach out to me and be like, hey, can like basically Zoom help me build this? And would love to explore the possibilities. Um, we were a video first company. We are a AI first company today, and I want to make sure that we are a developer first company someday. So please reach out to me if you have any cool ideas.
Very cool. Could switch into Spanish and half the people would be ready for it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Yay. This was a great inaugural. I'm so excited and hope to see you next month. Again, feel free to email Ojus and email me, and have a wonderful rest of the day and rest of the week, and stay well.